Thank you very much, my great friend of many years, Neil Ramdat, who reminded me that I entertained at his wedding. I will not dare do so today. The Honorable Rushton Paray, Member of Parliament for the Constituency of Mayaro, the very distinguished Mr. Rodney Charles, Member of Parliament for Naparima, my dear friend, the distinguished Rai Ragbir, Member of Parliament for Kumoto Manzanilla, Mr. Raymond Cozier, Chairman of the Rio Claro Mayaro Regional Corporation, Executive Members of the United National Congress Mayaro Constituency, former Chairman and Vice Chairman of the Cuba Talparo Regional Corporation, Mr. Henry Awong is here, former Chairman, Deputy Chairman of the Rio Claro Corporation, Mr. Videsh Maraj, my great friend, former Chairman, who celebrates his birthday today. And I don't know what type of birthday that you would leave home to listen to Roodal Moonilal. He's a fellow Sagittarius like myself. Give him a round of applause, Mr. Hazari Ramdeen. Other members of the local government fraternity, brothers and sisters of the executive of Mayaro, elders, community activists, and of course our great, outstanding, deserving awardees this evening. It's a great pleasure for me to be here on this occasion. Mayaro has always had a very special place for me. You see, it's the only constituency where I talk and I get sued. For 4 years, I have an ongoing matter at the High Court as a defendant. And in that matter, it was I delivered a speech in the constituency of Mayaro. So I think my lawyers have read this speech already, Kyle, and we might be safe this evening. Members of the press, members of the protective services, brothers and sisters all. I feel extremely privileged to be here to represent our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Visesa, at this wonderful function and awards ceremony this evening. My heart feels extremely strong. I feel extremely inspired when I look and I see how many of you are assembled here. When I look and I receive the awardees, I can tell you, you have been looking all evening. And during our presentation ceremony, myself and MP Paray, I had the opportunity to have very brief conversations and chat with the awardees. And after I've spoken to them in this way, I discover that I am the you to decide. We have had colleagues, friends, supporters who trace their political heritage to the Democratic Labour Party, who trace their work to the United Labour Front. One awardee indicated to me that he stood along with myself and others in Club 88 at Arangwes. And these are the folks today, along with others, who have served our party and served several members of parliament of this area with distinction. I ask you to give them all a round of applause. We in the United National Congress have great respect and affection for all members of the UNC family, and in particular for our street soldiers, our warriors, those troopers who fly the party's flag and promote its message. We are extremely proud to be UNC. Are you proud? We are proud to be UNC. We distinguish ourselves from other political parties, particularly the PNM, when you are in the United National Congress. We are a party of 34 years old, and 34 will turn to 44, 54, 104. We will grow, and we will grow, and we will succeed, and we will triumph. Much of our success in this party has been based on the unwavering activism of the devoted foot soldiers and ground troops of our great party. You are essential as the backbone of the United National Congress. You are men and women of fortitude and courage. In our party, we have had great moments to serve Trinidad and Tobago. We have also had difficult moments, challenging moments. Many of you remember, was it Christmas Eve in 2001? Anybody remember that? when you had to lock up your cooler and you lose your appetite. Many of us have lived through that. There were challenging moments. We have had moments of victory. But this party has continued. We have succeeded. We have the resilience. We have the tenacity. We have the courage of possibly no other political party in the Caribbean today. Give yourselves a round of applause. Brothers and sisters, our political party is founded upon 3 fundamental principles. And I remind you, although many of you don't need reminding, we are built on the principle of equality, of social justice, of national unity. Our founding fathers, those who drafted our Constitution, recognized those as fundamental principles to guide our vision. We are also committed to regional solidarity, the solidarity of all the peoples of our region. And I'll speak to that issue in a second. But those foundational principles guide us. This is why when I hear people say, well, it have no difference, you know, this party, that party, PNN, UNC, I say, rubbish, foolishness. We are grounded in certain principles. This is why a UNC government gave this country freedom of information, the Judicial Review Act. This is why we gave this country, brothers and sisters, laws that liberate, that provide for democracy, that deepen our institutions to deal with the challenges of our day. This is why the UNC and the People's Partnership dealt with the issue of human trafficking by passing the necessary laws to protect children, protect women, and so on. So that we have a proud history. And today when I look at you, I see not only our great legacy, but when I see the young people assembled here, I see the future of the United National Congress and Trinidad and Tobago. Our founding father, the Honorable Basdev Pandey, imbued this party with a fire for resistance. The UNC carries the heart of a lion. We cannot be defeated. We are a political party that cannot be defeated. We will not retreat. We will not surrender. As I keep telling people, if you see the lion take 1 step or 2 steps backward, he's not surrendering. He's measuring his prey so that he can jump. That is what the party does. We measure our prey so that we can jump and attack. We are a party built on the strength of Basdev Pandey, on his vision, on his charisma and his courage. Brothers and sisters, today while we salute all of our recipients, we also salute Mr. Pandey and others who brought this party into existence. Today we salute as well Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, who epitomized as no one can our struggle for justice. She has blazed a path for prosperity and equality. She has the heart of the most compassionate leader you can find in the Caribbean. When I remind you in the People's Partnership, when we formed the cabinet in May, at the end of May 2010, the very first cabinet decision made by the People's Partnership was to establish a children's life fund to save the lives of children who would be ill and who would face, serious problems. Mrs. Prasad Bisesa's compassion, her love for children, and her value for human life, solidarity and democracy, those values are now legendary and associated with her leadership. She has shaped our vision, she has shaped our policy, and she indeed will shape our future as we progress to take back the government from the PNM in 2025 or before. Our party stands for a just and fair society, the rule of law, transparency, and accountability in public affairs. And I will speak to that now. When you hear the propaganda of the PNM, I tell you, forget it. The PNM is a party built on propaganda. Built on propaganda. They have nothing else to offer except propaganda. They speak about accountability and openness and so on. And that party has presided over the biggest corruption scandals in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. They have stolen everything. The only thing they haven't stolen is something that bolted down to the ground maybe. I told them the writing is on the wall, they will be removed. But like them thief the wall too. That separates us from the PNM. propaganda. And in your party, you must be proud. Today I appeal to you to be proud, to be happy, to be courageous. Hold your head up high when you meet folks in the marketplace, in the supermarket, in the street, in the village, community center. You must be proud to be United National Congress. We built Trinidad and Tobago, as Jolene John is very fond of repeating and telling us, and she's correct, we built this country. Where there's 100 schools, 9 police stations, 5 hospitals, fire stations, housing, highways, whatever it is, we built this country. The PNM's legacy is Las Alturas, is buildings falling down all over the place. That is their legacy. That is not ours. Everything we build has stood the test of time, including the brilliant Piarco International Airport, which today is the recipient of global prizes for the best airport in the Western Hemisphere. The United National Congress believes in our national patrimony. We believe that it should benefit all, but we believe in regional solidarity. You will notice that within the last week or so, it is the political leader, Mrs. Prasad Bisasa, who first called for mediation in that matter involving the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. When she said that, Rowley said, "Why all you don't shut up, all you don't know what you're talking about." She led the way so that Ralph Gonzalez will continue that approach. And on Thursday, the presidents of Venezuela and Guyana will meet in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to have discussions around the table. They miss me. So, Mrs. Prasad Bisasa and your United National Congress has led the way, even from opposition, on the matter in Venezuela and Guyana. And we stand for, I want to tell you, we stand firm. We stand strong in support of the people of Guyana in that struggle. And we must never apologize for standing for what is right. If you are UNC and you are proud, and if you are imbued with these values that the UNC share, you must be proud to stand for what is right. Sometimes you stand for what is right and somebody may not like you. Somebody go quarrel, you will say, "Why are you saying this, why are you saying that?" When you believe in what is right, you must stand for it. And in that matter, we stand in solidarity. If we don't watch it, the very president of Venezuela, he might find a map from 300 years ago and appoint a governor to run Trinidad. And decide, well, Trinidad is part of Venezuela as well, and he want that too. Put a governor to run Mayaro. So brothers and sisters, we must stand firm on that matter. And your UNC and your political leader has taken leadership even in opposition. Could you imagine what we would have done in government? We would have been the regional leader. If we were in government, the presidents of the world would come to Port of Spain to discuss that matter, not St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We would have led. We have constantly and consistently displayed our attributes of strength and our values. We have sought to hold the PNM to account, and I want to point out today that our very dear colleague, the Member of Parliament for Naparima, is one of the most firebrand, determined and courageous Member of Parliament in Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. Give him a round of applause. He has stood out, and he has stood up to the tyranny of the PNM, sometimes at great personal stake. But he has stood up, and today on behalf of our political leader, on behalf of our national executive and our party, we would like to congratulate and commend Mr. Rodney Charles for his decades of service to the United National Congress and Trinidad and Tobago. We wish him all the best in his future endeavor, and as I said this morning at the press conference, I am sure that Rodney Charles will continue to serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago in the future. That I am sure about. So brothers and sisters, we are keenly aware that you, the activists, are the prime advocates and campaigners for the ideals of the UNC. You are the ones who advance and promote our goals, our beliefs. This day is particularly exciting and thrilling for those of us who have assembled here for this function. This auditorium is filled with UNC foot soldiers, which is an indication of the tremendous support for our party in this community and the ready state of mobilization as declared by the chairman of this very constituency earlier in the program. We are happy that Mayaro will be the second constituency to be declared for the United National Congress. I want to tell the chairman, at 8:30 on election morning, we normally win Oropouche because we know how much the PNM get. So by 8:30 we declare victory. So I want to know, when will you declare victory during the day, because you will know how much the PNM gets. Correct? This has been a great constituency, a great supporter. There are times over the years, of course, when this constituency, in some incarnation, have slipped into an abyss and been held by the PNM, I believe, for a term or two. But this constituency of Mayaro has always returned to the warm, comfortable embrace of the United National Congress. So your meeting here, your function, sends a positive message to all of us, including our political opponents. This is a tribute to the UNC Mayaro's family, led by your Member of Parliament, his executive, and indeed the staff of his office. Many of you, I believe 8 of you, receiving awards, one posthumously Lifetime Activist Awards this evening. We congratulate all of the awardees. On behalf of the National Executive of the UNC, I thank and congratulate you on these most deserving awards. We are aware of the years of diligent work and commitment to our party. We are not only campaigners, but also exemplars. As seasoned campaigners today, I call upon you. I speak as the first ever youth officer of the United National Congress. When I call upon you, the awardees and others assembled here, to be exemplars to the young politicians, to the youth activists in our party. Without youth activists, without young persons being involved, no political party can survive the test of time. And you have a responsibility to be exemplars, to be the beacon of hope for our young people in our political party. Never allow our young people to despair, to lose hope, to lose faith. When I stood in 1988 and 1989, I had faith. I had faith in my party. I had faith in the journey ahead. It has been a long journey, and the journey ahead appears to be challenging as well. But you must have faith in that journey called politics. This is not an activity for the faint-hearted. It is not for the faint-hearted. It's for those of you with courage who can stay the course of time. As I tell people sometime in politics, this is the only race in which the turtle does win. Every other race, the turtle will lose. But politics, you have to stay focused, stay clear, keep your head clear, and stay focused, and continue the journey to serve people. At the root of all politics, is serving people. The political leader says 3 points: serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. All politics is about serving people. Some people believe it is serving yourself, but all politics is about serving people. And once you serve people, you have a good heart, you work, you give your time, you will stay a long time serving. Because when you serve the people will support you in the long run. That I can tell you from my own example. So brothers and sisters, your loyalty is recognized today. We recognize your commitment, your dedication, and we commend all of you for your service to our party. We extend our profound appreciation for your years of service. We extend our appreciation for your political activism. These are times when it is very difficult in our society. They are hostile times. Keep the faith. Stay loyal to your cause. Today, as your Member of Parliament will address you in a while, the party says thank you to the Member of Parliament and tell you that you all are a symbol of patriotism and public spiritedness. You love your party, and today I will tell you that your party loves you as well. And while we reflect and celebrate today, I wish to remind you that your work is not done. After successful electoral victories in this constituency, we must look to another hotly contested elections in the coming months. Do you know we are a few days away from saying that next year is election? We are a few days away from saying next year is election. and we are here. We are here to stay. We are here to fight. This is one of the largest and most diverse constituencies. The PNM is very much aware of this constituency. They have held it in their bad hands for some time, and they will come back to fight. They will pose a challenge to many of you, but you will stand firm and stand strong and hold your ground. Brothers and sisters, the PNM will never pull the rug from under us in Mayaro. They will target Mayaro, but they will lose the constituency of Mayaro yet again. In these parts, I wanted to remind you that when we were in office, we worked very hard in the constituency of Mayaro. This constituency defined a lot of the work that we did. The councillors, many of them experienced, know the work that the People's Partnership did in these areas. Today we see people protesting for roads. Those of us who drive here at times, and you who drive all the time, know of the landslips, you know of the bad roads, you know of the poor infrastructure, you know of the water problem. MP Paray is forever in Parliament raising these issues. And he has raised these issues on behalf of his constituents, infrastructure and so on. So that I want to say that we are aware of the problem. It is not difficult from Oropouche East, Oropouche West, Siparia, Naparima and elsewhere. But when we were there, I reminded you, brothers and sisters, that we did work in these constituencies, in the communities of Mayaro. We revived industries. We focused on agro-processing and fishing. The Galeota Point, which was constructed by the administration of Mrs. Prasad Bissessa, would be fully operationalized and would stir economic activities in the future. The fishing port will be brought to life. We have to inject life in a lot of the projects in these communities. We will partner, brothers and sisters, with industry in this area for the development of youth, for the development of the underprivileged. In our next incarnation, of course, we will take serious steps to provide investment for infrastructure in the hospitality sector, which is ripe in the constituency of Mayaro. Hospitality, services, and other areas of development. And of course, we had a vision which we started already. Work has already started on a spanking brand new highway from San Fernando to Mayaro. We started the work, we will continue that project. It is in our destiny that we have a highway from San Fernando to Mayaro so that we can make this part accessible to the entire country, to visitors, to tourists who would wish to come here for holiday, for investment, and to enjoy all that these areas have to offer. So we have witnessed, brothers and sisters, lost years of development over the last 8 years, but that will end soon. We have promised, we have the program, we have the plan, we have the personnel to deal with crime. Home invasions in these communities are also a troubling problem. We will deal with this. You already recall it was our government that built the Mayaro fire station. You remember that? Eric William promised that in 1962. He came up with, what's your name, Tichel or something like that, a minister at the time, Tichera. He came up and promised a fire station in 1962. It was Kamla Prasad Bissessa, the People's Partnership, that built the Mayaro fire station, where they don't have a tender. I don't even know if they have a wooden ladder there. But we will provide the resources for that place, brothers and sisters, and all such areas. As I said before, we have exciting developments for the constituency of Mayaro and for this region. We will return to national office, and foremost in our mind would be to address the imbalance in development, to address the imbalance, to ensure that constituencies like Mayaro and others receive public investments for projects, for industry, for creating jobs. A big challenge we have across the nation and in your area is really job creation. It is employment. And with the right vision, with the right leadership, we can get the investment that will lead to jobs. So brothers and sisters, we have an exciting time ahead of us. We must remain committed, we must remain united, and we must remain focused. My life message is stay focused. As our leader said years ago, decades ago, stay focused on the eye of the bird. And if you focus on the eye of the bird, you will reach your target, you will reach your destination. We must stay focused, we must remain strong and bonded. We must remain together, cohesive. So don't let your hearts be troubled. Don't let your hearts be troubled by propaganda of the PNM and their agents. Don't be troubled by that at all. We will deal with that when the appropriate time comes, in the new year in particular. So, we are united with a purpose. We have a vision. We have a program. We have a leader. We have a leadership team that includes our Member of Parliament in this area and other members of Parliament. I extend to you, brothers and sisters, my deep appreciation. I extend to you my warmth for this very wonderful season as we celebrate Christmas. I wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. A holy, peaceful and joyful period in the year. I also ask you to keep very safe given the crisis that we face with national security and so on. So have a holy season, a successful, happy, joyful season. And I ask all of you to have a wonderful, safe, prosperous New Year 2024. And in 2024, I warn Pete Rowley today, it will be heat upstairs, downstairs, and the middle floor will be heat. We will come at them with everything we have to remove them from office, because they are now the opposition in waiting, and we are the government in waiting. Thank you all. May God bless you. May God bless your family, and may God bless the great people of Mayaro.